What is up, humans? Welcome back to my channel. So today I am chipping back into that subscriber parcel. So this is that 33.9 carat stone, and let me get it out of the bag here for you. So this piece has some really great linear color in it. There's lots of dirt around the outside of it, and I do see a crack towards the more dirty side without shining light through it. So that, we'll end up flaking that off in the process. But the colors here are phenomenal, so I can't wait to see what I can get out of this stone. Looks pretty gosh darn clean right there where the stone has grown in the rock. I think the biggest task for this stone will be getting rid of all that dirt, and I did try to chip it away with my hands, but it's solid, so I will have to grind at it with my Dremel. It's probably some sort of sandstone or something, but not just straight dirt that I could chip off. So when we shine a light through it, you can see it is quite clean in that area, but if you look towards the part of the stone that's closest to the dirt, there is a little kind of imperfection in it. It looks like a little kind of rainbowy shaped chip on the inside. If you can see it there, see how it's like kind of a little bit light on the inside. So that's an imperfection, and that could cause it to chip in the cutting process, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Let's do another way of it just to check it out, why not? And yeah, 33.7, so pretty much spot on to what it was. It might have lost some crumbs in the shipping. So yeah, if you guys want to see how this stone ends up getting shaped, just stay tuned. So starting on my 800 grit diamond bit here, wearing glasses and a dust mask, I'm just trying to chip away at the dirt here. And when you are grinding away dirt on Dremel, just straight dirt, it's going to gunk up your bit quite a bit. And so you're going to want to be sure to, every other dip in your water, make sure to bring up water to your grinding piece and kind of rinse off that dirt, or else it'll just get too gunked up and it'll be quite a bit less efficient. It still will kind of work, but it won't be like as efficient as it normally would be. While it is very important to keep your Dremel bit and your stone wet normally, even with a very clean stone, with a dirty stone you're gonna find yourself dipping in the water quite a bit more because it's just gonna turn into mud, and when the mud gets dry it's gonna start pluming dust into the air. So you really don't want that dust to plume into the air, even though you are, or you should be, wearing a dust mask. You don't want that in the air unless you're working in a highly ventilated workshop area, which I am not. I do this in my home. So I really don't want that dust in the air. Now, it might not be silica dust. With a straight stone, it is gonna be silica dust. But with something like this dirt, it could be anything. It could be sulfur, it could be any list of things any list of host rocks that are available in the area, and some of which could be toxic because, there are toxic minerals everywhere, and you kinda don't want to inhale minerals. So here you guys can see that there is a crack that developed from that imperfection. And I saw this coming. I knew it was gonna happen. And I always find a use for those other pieces. So I chipped off that broken piece, and then I lost some footage of me chipping that off and grinding away at the piece. So that's why you see it here quite a bit more shaped than before. And I hopefully in the future will do a video for you guys on what I do with like clean pieces that are super crazed and cracked. I do have something that I do with those pieces. I don't let any of my opal go to waste unless it's just riddled with dirt, and you can't really do much with that. But this ended up getting shaped in a real nice teardrop shape since we chipped off that piece of the opal. It just really lended itself to a teardrop shape. Now, if it didn't crack right there, it could have been an oval, but heck, I love doing teardrops. So moving on to my Nova Point diamond bits here, and I'll leave what texture they are down below. I'm just being sure to hit all the sides of the stone, checking it, drying it off in between the runs of all the faces, and making sure that I have gotten the scratches out from the previous bit. It can be frustrating sometimes if your Dremel piece is shaking a lot, and that will happen. I always make sure with all of my pieces, all of my Dremel pieces, I make sure to turn it on, kind of rub my finger on it to see how much it's vibrating, and then I will bring my stone to it, because if it's vibrating too much, which it often does, it will basically just be really hard to hold on to. It could vibrate it off of your dopping stick, I'm sure. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, I'm not much of a dopper, not that I'm against it, I just don't have experience with it. But in the past, a couple of times that I have tried dopping with Ethiopian, and I was using dopping wax, which I realize now is not what you use for Ethiopian, but the Ethiopian opals just pop right off of that dopping wax. So I hear you can use super glue for that. Oh, I don't have super glue, and I'm a little bit worried that maybe the stone could absorb the super glue and give it a milky finish, and I don't want that. I'd rather risk dropping the stone about 1,000 times than getting a milky finish on it. So this is the stone when it was wet, and the water is still all absorbed in the stone because Ethiopian is hydrophane. And then this is what the stone looked like when I let it dry out. So you can see that there is a big difference and how much water Ethiopian opals do indeed absorb. So moving on to my diamond grit pastes on felt tips here, and these felt tips are just felt tips I got off Amazon. I got the stone polishing grit pastes off of Etsy. Now, I have heard that certain types of diamond stone polishing pastes can be quite pigmented and stain your stone. I've not had an issue with that, but I've heard of that issue, and I've seen it online. Now, I ordered my diamond grit pastes from a supplier on Etsy called Kent's Supply. Now, I went back to look them up, and I don't know if they changed their name and they're Ken's Supply now, because there's somebody who sells stone polishing pastes called Ken's Supply out of Kent, Washington. And I'm pretty sure that is the same person, so if you're looking for the exact kind of pastes that I use, you can head on over there. I might leave it in the description, but I often forget to leave stuff in the description. So that's a thing. But maybe I don't know, I don't keep my stones covered in the polishing paste for that long. I do make sure to wipe it off. I don't like it to be super coated with it. Sometimes I'll scrape it off in a little area that I know is clean, and then when I need that little bit of paste again, I'll scoop it back up and I'll rub it on the face of the stone, because I don't want that to go to waste. I like to use all of my paste because I'd like to not spend extra money if I can help it. So you can go on Suva Lapidary Supply and get just all Nova points for this. You don't even need to use the polishing paste. You can just get Nova points that do these grits. And that's cool, and if you want to do that, go right on ahead. I just haven't done that because, you know, I have this stuff. Why not use it up, right? So, yeah. And if you're ever wondering why I keep the Dremel sounds out of my videos completely, because a lot of people like those lapidary machine sounds and those Dremel sounds. I find them relaxing. I do not. I find them quite frustrating, and I am somebody who is very sensitive to loud sounds, so I'll even wear earplugs sometimes when I'm carving opals, and I definitely wear a hat to like keep my hair back because I do have long hair. That can be really frustrating if you have long hair and you're trying to carve opals and it's like in your face and stuff, because you're moving around and then your hair will flop in your face, and it's like, no, keep that back. Put on a hat, put on a hairnet, put on one of those things from Survivor. Don't even know what those are called, but if you watch Survivor, you know what I mean. Yeah, I just don't like loud sounds. If you want that, there's lots of that online. And I'm more here for the journey of the opal. But it's all finished now, and when we weigh it, the finished weight is 4.1514 carats, and this is what it looks like. So super awesome, like rolling green flash. I love the yellows. You get some like oranges in there sometimes. Really phenomenal. I do quite enjoy this kind of linear pattern cut from the lines side in a dough shape. Now with a lot of these linear designs, if you cut it from the right direction, it'll be honeycomb. This was not one of them. Now I'll get you guys a little before and after action here. This is the stone before it was cut. A beautiful piece. And then this is the stone after I cut it, with all of its beautiful linear flash. Now, I'm super happy with how this stone turned out. I feel like I got a nice payout. And if you were wondering why this video is coming out so late, well, I live in an area in Alaska that has been getting a lot of snow lately, not to mention we had an earthquake recently, which was pretty heavy where I am, and I had power outages like nuts, and it was just, I was not able to turn on my Dremel. But this is the Dungeons and Dragons soap that I ended up making. I did this off camera, and I thought I'd show you guys the bars as kind of my art in the end of this video. So it's like mountains with snowy peaks, and then there's like some green hills in front of it, and then it was supposed to be lava, but it ended up looking more like desert, which is fine, you know, that's fine. I'm still learning about how to work with melt and pour to get these ambitious designs that I want. And those top blue purple embeds are dice, like a dice dungeon, and they're supposed to be floating in lava. Looks kind of like sand, but you know, I still think they're awesome. Now these soaps are not going to be for sale. I made this batch for my boyfriend's Dungeons and Dragons group, so we're going to ship these out to them as sort of a gift for his friends. But I just thought I'd show you guys what I made. And then in the future, I'm going to wait for a smaller mold to come in before I start doing that, because this mold was just so massive, it uses so much of my soap. But thank you guys for watching this far. If you have, go ahead and like the video if you like it. Comment on the video if you have something to say. Share it if you have some people you'd like to share it with. And smash that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time that I post.